All right, guys, one final session that we really want to review with you. Actually, this is new, and it will be new for all people for the 2020 season. And who knows, this might be something that we have to implement for future camps here on out. But a couple modifications and a couple changes that we are having to adhere to, and policies and guidelines and things that we're going to do. And it's in regards to our distancing or involving children with these camps. And just to let you know, with the virus, the COVID situation, the coronavirus, and all the details that are going along with that, there are practices that are being implemented all around our country with camps. And so some of them, we felt that fellowship was needed to respond appropriately as well. And just to kind of go over a few of these with you, and you probably will know that most of these are common sense. And just continue to follow with these that I list out and a few recommendations, practice them yourself and encourage the children as well. And so we're not fearful of having camp with these children, yet we want to do our best to do what is right. So here, let's look over a few of these things. Campers who are feeling ill are to remain at home. And we're asking parents that if something of this happens and a kid comes in and they're not feeling well and everything, we want you to be able to bring them to the pavilion to us. If they are saying that they're not sick, we're going to review some of their symptoms and talk about some things with them. And we're going to separate them out to be able to keep them distance. But we want parents to know that if your child is ill, they just need to stay home as well. So that if you have a camper that feels ill, bring them to the pavilion, okay? I'm not asking you to assess the situation or whatever. And it may be something like they had milk for lunch and they ate it with their hard-boiled egg, and then it's 95 degrees outside, and that is not setting well on their belly. So guys, that may be the whole situation. But if they're coming up and it's like, I'm just not feeling well, okay, you can talk to them a little bit and say, well, let's go up here and let's have, the nurse or the camp director or the designated person in charge to talk about that, talk with you. So feel free to bring them up with illnesses. Secondly, we're going to plan to distance children as much as possible during these activities. Now, I know some of these camps get large and we have a lot of kids here, but we don't want them hugging up right on each other. We don't want them all touching each other. And yes, they're going to see their friends and it's going to be a great time and they're going to want to get together. So pretty much what we want to do is we want to work on distancing them as much as possible. You want to keep them separated, still within the group area, but work on having them distanced and maintained at an acceptable distance. At each station and team tables, there will be sanitizing spray for their children's hands and the sports equipment or whatever equipment that we need to sanitize. That's something that is new this year again, that there's spray bottles that we plan on having at the stations. Someone will be designated at that station to monitor that. We don't want the children having their hands on the bottles and them just spraying it everywhere because one, we don't want to waste it, but two, we don't want them injuring somebody else or spraying it on somebody else that should not. So what we'll do is we'll take that sanitizing spray, and once the station is done, let's say it's hockey at sports camp, and they line up all their sticks. We want them to put the sticks down and they line it up. Somebody can go through and spray those hockey sticks down, put the hand sanitizer spray on them, and there you go. We've sanitized it. Then you may have your kids stand out and holding their palms up, and somebody goes down the line and just sprays their hands, and tell the kids to rub their hands really good and just rub that in. That's going to be a way that we're working with practicing safe practices of keeping the children sanitized, spray, that kind of thing. Camp staff, you may be asked to, hey, take this Clorox wipe and wipe down this common area or wipe this table down, because we've had a lot of children that have been, working at this table or something. We want you all to be able to wipe things down and be ready to just know that you're going to be working on cleaning and sanitizing things. Bathrooms as well. Bathrooms are going to be cleaned periodically throughout the day, at least morning, afternoon, and evening, but we're going to work on our best to be able to sanitize and wipe down periodically throughout the day as well. And as far as hand washing, when kids get there, I know that bathrooms, they're in and out, and constantly. So the bathrooms, we want to encourage good hand washing practices. But even as they come out, a lot of times these kids, you can tell them till you're blue in the face to wash their hands, and they don't. But we'll plan on having hand sanitizer spray for them to be able to clean their hands. So just some ideas for them on the cleaning. Now, at lunch, they come to lunch. there should be a sanitizing spray bottle at your team table. And what that does is they clean their hands, they grab their lunchbox, and so children will they can have a little appropriate space and they can sit there. You can hear each other within 6 feet and then continue to talk to each other. But also, we don't want them sharing lunches. Now, if one of your children come up and they do not have a lunch, we need to find that out first thing in the morning. So maintain a communication with them. Did you bring a lunch? No, I don't have a lunch. You can see when this child walks up that they have nothing in their hands. Okay, well, we need to make sure that child gets a lunch. Now, we're not going to be providing lunches this year. So what we will do is we need you to communicate to us, hey, Jane Smith didn't bring a lunch, or on team 8, John Smith didn't get his lunch, or he left his lunch in the car. His mom has his lunch in the car. So you need to communicate that with us. We will call the parent or call the guardian, call the adult and say, look, we need you to bring a lunch for this child. So it is helpful for you to be able to do that for us also, because we don't want them sharing food. Even if a kid says, I'll give them my peanut butter and celery. Sorry, we can't have them sharing food and sharing these things also. As far as not sharing food, but also making sure that each kid has their own lunch, we'll take care of that as well, and to keep themselves spaced out. Well, guys, camp modifications, just a little different twist this year. A few things that is new for all of us. It's new for myself included. And so we look forward to a great summer camp season. I look forward to you guys enjoying the camp season as well, leading and then telling us of joys that you're experiencing through this camp season too. So we're looking forward to it. Excited to get started. We'll get started here just as soon as we get rolling with our very first camp, and we'll see you there.